The question, Congressman, was, what have you done for veterans and what can we do with this growing problem of homeless vets?
Well, thank you, and I apologize for being late. I was downtown and I went to the east side, now back here. Somebody ought to do something about traffic around here. And actually, our iTech solution is on its way, and thank all 27 cities for cooperating. But veterans are very dear to the Micah family. Our dad died in a crowded veterans hospital. My brother was a Democrat member of Congress. Some of you don't know that. The two of us are the only two members of Congress since 1889 to serve from different political parties. My other brother worked with Lawton Chiles. But our veterans are not a partisan issue. These people have served our country, and sometimes they're the first called and the last served. The VA hospital is an example of what you can do working together. They tried for many, many years, and it almost closed down. I was able to get everybody, all the delegation, Democrats and Republicans signed, and that hospital is open. It's one of the finest. Now we're repurposing the old Baldwin Park, and that is, we've got the pharmacy open, we've got the clinic open, and last week we opened the domiciliary beds, 56 beds, we have 60 down at Lake Nona. Let me just tell you one quick story. As we finished the opening of that, a gentleman came up to me and said, Mr. Micah, I started the program down at Lake Nona. He was up at Lake Baldwin. He said that 2 months ago, he was eating out of a garbage can in a dumpster, sleeping under a viaduct, and now that program had allowed him to get back on his feet. In 2 weeks, he's going to start a job, and he said in 4 years, his daughter hadn't spoken to him, and she is now helping him find a place to live. So those are some of the things I've been involved in. Thank you.
All right, Congressman, you're going to be on the hot seat because we had about 5 lightning rounds of questions with just yes, no, and I vowed that if anybody came in afterwards, they would get the same questions. So we're going to do these quickly. A lot of discussion about the quality of the presidential candidates. Is there anyone here who doesn't plan on supporting their party's nominee for president?
I plan to support the party's
Okay, all righty. Do you support universal background checks for all gun sales?
I would have to look at the language.
Okay. Assault weapons ban. Do you want to reinstate that?
Again, I would like to look at the language. And
No, I mean the ban that was already in existence.
Some instances in which it should be reinstated. Thank you.
It should? I'm sorry?
I say there are some instances. Again, I never commit to any bill unless I see the specific language. So again, I say there are some instances where it should be reinstated.
I think that question was the act that
Yes,
was
go
in
ahead.
place. But
Yes.
do you support mandatory ID for voting?
Yes.
All right, and the last one, climate change. Is it man-made? Is it real? Is it affected by man? And what should we do about it, if anything?
Well, that's about a yes or no. Can I?
The first two. Is it man-made? Is it real? And is it man-made?
Well, I think there's definite changes in the planet, and I think we have a responsibility. We're trustees of this God-given earth, and we should be good custodians of it, and also get the rest of the world to be good custodians, and we can solve some of the problem.
Okay. All right. But not man-made, but not human-affected?
Oh, well, there's no question. I've flown over, well, I've been in China, I've flown over South America. They're taking out huge portions of Indonesia. I've been in Africa, I've been around the world, India, and they are destroying the planet, folks. And we're buying their goods and bringing them into this country at a discount and helping them ruin the planet. We've got to change that.
Fair enough. All right, well, I hate to do this right when you got here, but we're about to go out. We were going to give everybody a closing minute, though, if you'd like to say anything before you leave. And I'm sure all these candidates would hang around if you have any other specific questions you'd like to ask them. We'll start with you, Ms. Fahmy.
Thank you, and thanks for the opportunity. I'm a first-time candidate. I have not had a long-standing desire to run for office. I'm running for office because when I look around, and you're entitled to a straight answer. So I look forward to talking with some of you afterwards.
Thank you. Mark.
I can really relate with the team on that. I'm the same way. One of my taglines that we use in our campaign is I'm a next generation conservative, and honestly, the real reason why I'm doing this, I'm a small business owner. My wife and I are small business owners. My wife, she asked me, do you really want to do this? It's like, I say it's like self-inflicted pain. But what I really feel is that I'm very concerned. I'm concerned for the future. My generation, younger generations, there's problems that we're going to have to address. And if they're not addressed today, that's things that Congress is just not doing. A lot of long-term incumbents that are in Congress today are going to be long out of office when the problems we're going to have to address. So yes, I'm fully grassroots, and we do tons of door-to-door work. And I'd be happy to say that I'm the only candidate in District 7, the District 7 race, that's not supported by large donors and by the party. And I just ask that you all take a look. My website is markbush.us. It's Bush like the beer. I'm not related to the company nor the president. But I just ask you, I really appreciate everybody tonight. I know my points of view are a little bit different, but that's a great thing about this arena. We can debate. It's something that is losing in this country is the fact that our parties are ripping us apart and we're not able to talk with each other anymore. I really appreciate for everybody to give me the opportunity to give you a little bit of idea about myself. I just ask that please take a look at my website and just consider me on August 30th. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Thompson.
I'm Geraldine Thompson, and I have served this community for the last 10 years. Any legislative experience, so I am best prepared to serve the constituents of Congressional District 10 on day one. I've been in the trenches, I've been working for this community for decades and getting results. I am a workhorse, not a show horse. And on August 30th, at least by August 30th, I ask for your vote so that I can continue to serve this community this time in Washington, D.C. Thank you.
My name is Bob Poe, a candidate for the 10th Congressional District. One of my mottos in life is if you want to make a difference, you have to be the difference. And I will be the difference in Washington. One of the differences is that I don't go to Washington in debt. I don't go to Washington in debt to any special interests or to the lobbyist community because I've funded a large percentage of my own campaign. So I will go to Washington and I will be debt-free. So because you are going to be my special interest. The voters of the 10th Congressional District will be my only special interest. And I think that that's important. And that is a difference. Another thing is my passion for public service, my passion for constituent services that I have a background in back in my old radio days of working with constituent services. Our offices will be open at nights and on weekends so that people can have the opportunity to get their problems solved on their timetable and not necessarily on Washington's timetable. And also we want to have a full-time grants writer in our office so that nonprofit organizations and even smaller communities can have access to federal dollars that are available, but they just don't have the means to hire a grants writer. And it's a huge, huge problem that doesn't get often addressed. We talk a lot about these national issues and voting on various bills and everything else, but there's another part of this job, and that's what you do at the local level. And I plan to be a leader for this community, not only in Washington, but right here in Orlando. Thank you.
Thank you all, Susanna Randolph, and I really have appreciated being here, so thank you for organizing this. I'm a community organizer, a grassroots community organizer. I'm a working mom, and I've had the opportunity to work in a congressional office and see how the federal government can work for real people and make their lives better. I think most of you, a lot of you know me, that my reputation is that I work harder than anybody else. My experience has been shoulder to shoulder working with teachers and parents, fighting the $1.3 billion in cuts to public education that Rick Scott laid on this state when he first took office. Fighting those cuts to public education as a former board member of Planned Parenthood, working to bring for the first time ever health care for women in Osceola County so they don't have to ride a bus 2 hours to come and get that health care that they want. That's my experience. I haven't had experience on the floor of a House or a Senate pushing buttons and voting on things that affect people hundreds of miles away. I've been there with those people, helping to make sure that their lives are affected in a very good way and that their problems are solved. This is my job interview. I'm working harder than anybody else in this race so that when I get to Congress, I will work harder than anybody up there. And people who know me know that that's the case. We are gonna, like Geraldine said, workhorse, not show horse, absolutely, positively. What makes my heart soar is when we move that needle to get those benefits for that veteran, to make sure we pass that wage theft ordinance in Osceola County that I worked on, and make sure that people get what they need in this world so that their kids have a future, their seniors have more to live on every day because I'm up there, and make sure our middle class is growing by the day. So August 30th, we're 14 days away from the election. Do what you can, randolphforcongress.com, and we'll send a workhorse, not a show horse, a working mom to Congress. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Scott, thank you, Ryan, and thank you all to the people who are offering themselves up for public service, and some I've worked with. I want to thank my Republican opponent. He's been a real gentleman in this race, and when you run for public office, you appreciate people who are running and people who have served. And then you have to, the election is one thing, but then you have to roll up your sleeves and make a difference in this community. This is a great community. It's an incredible state, and it's given us great opportunities in this country. So we have some challenges. I believe there isn't any challenge that we can't face if we just join together. Some of them take longer. Sunrail was 22 years, the Veterans Hospital 20-some years. And you have to dust yourself off and then work together, get everybody in the same direction. If we all work together, and I pledge to do that, there isn't anything we can't achieve. A lot of people have some serious needs. I remember taking the bus, working the night shift at the Miami Herald, washing dishes, loading boxcars, like many of you. But this is a great country, and we can make it even better, just working together, solving some of the problems that we have. We've had challenges in the past, we have challenges now, but I am telling you, we can do it, and we can make our lives and others even better. Thank you all for coming out tonight. It wouldn't have been possible without you. Thank you all, and I'm pleased to join you. I apologize for being late, and I'll stay and answer questions one-on-one. Thank you.
That completes our evening. Let's hear from our candidates. They did a great job tonight. I think Mark touched on one of the beauties of our democracy is different viewpoints and sharing those tonight. So you guys were a fantastic audience with that. I want to thank our hosts as well, the League of Women Voters and AARP. I can speak for Scott, they were very easy to work with and went out of their way for this as well. So thank you for them as well.
I just want to thank everybody for coming, and I also